I struggle because half of me wants this manifesto to be flowery and pretty, and the other half thinks it's too important to risk muddling it up. As a theater maker of many years, I've learned a lot about what's important and how to get to those things. And metaphor and poetry do hit people viscerally in a way that straightforward language can struggle to convey. So, in some combination effort, I begin this year with a record of intentions, both for my Division 3 project and for my own personal art making. Theater is the most American art form that there is, and America needs to be better. We continue to create every day, but somehow we never reach the center of where we're going. We make fluff pieces to distract from the horror or broadcast that horror without any way for our viewers to be safe and process. We lean away from content warnings and accessibility in favor of keeping things the way they have always been. Hard conversations are made harder by our reluctance to allow our feelings a seat at the table. This horror that we live with every day makes its way into our lives, embeds itself into our work, drinks coffee at our kitchen table, and we stay silent for fear of telling people that we're scared. And we are all scared. Engaging with this horror has become a trend, made taboo and quieted by concerned parties who would suffer if the status quo was changed. They call it social justice, and mockingly, they refer to those who dedicate themselves to it as social justice warriors. They take pride in loudly declaring their faith in the system, as if they have no idea what they're really doing is declaring a rejection of love and safety for those unlike them. What they're really declaring is that there is no horror, not for them. The rest of us combat this horror every single day in small ways, invisibly and silently. Every day I have to choose again to swing my art making like a hammer only for it to land as a kaleidoscope of butterflies. This is what art is, creating beauty out of the horror and sharing it with the world. And theater is uniquely qualified to be shared. The ephemerality of watching and then leaving without the option to ever have that experience again is a quality that only staged art forms have. It leaves the audience to decide what of that performance stays with them, and we as art makers choose what to offer them when they walk in those doors. So I choose every single day to create meaningful theater, to make something that lets people walk out of the auditorium and carry something away with them to fight the horror. I choose to make theater universal and accessible in every way possible, to take what others would not teach me and share it with the world in the best way that I know how. To make theater a platform to boost erased voices, to reverse the silencing of those considered marginalized and showcase the intersections that every person has within them. I choose more than fluff, more than information. I choose action. I care too much about the emotions of people long dead and people just born. I see myself in the eyes of Harlem poets and newborn infants, politicians and students, homeless people and houseless people. What better way to convey multitudes than through theater? Social justice is not the focus of the work. It is the work. And if they call me a warrior, I will box up the butterflies and the words of those left behind and leave it on their doorstep until they see the horror for what it is. I will be a warrior. I will be an empowerer, a lover, and an intentional creator. I will show the fear that I feel and leave space for others to share theirs. We're supposed to feel emotions and then throw them to the side or hide them. How can we cope if we pretend our emotions don't exist? How can we move forward if we let the horror climb into the shower with us, have dinner with our families, or sleep in our beds? Creating is the way I choose to craft my better world and to find a way through to others. I will not be passive. I will fight and caress and love, and I will hold others with the kindness that others have held me.